All right, this is your 5-minute core video. We're doing this lying now, and so if you have a mat or something, you can come down, you can do this on a rug. Probably not a hard surface though, because it's going to get really uncomfortable through some of the movements. And we're going to start this one here just lying down. Everything we do is going to be in this basic position, so I want you to start by feeling both sides of your hip on the mat, both of your shoulders, top of your head. Okay, everything is going to be in this neutral position. I want you to draw your belly button in, lift your pelvic floor muscles just gently, okay, not overly squeezing them, but just engaging everything through the core. And our first movement here is going to be an alternating high knee. We have 5 movements for 45 seconds each, 5 minutes of work. Here we go. So first movement, alternating high knee, trying to bring that knee as close to the chest as we can. Trying to maintain the angle of the knee, in case we're not collapsing through the foot. Taking this really slowly. As you get a little bit stronger, you might want to extend this a little bit further, make it a little more challenging for you. Remember to breathe. Beautiful, take a break. Let's bring those feet back down to the mat. We are going now into the upper abdominals, and we're just going to curl our chin in and try to get our shoulders up off the ground by 1 or 2 inches. You can take your hands and cradle, and we're just going to breathe out and lift just the shoulders, not the back, just the shoulders rolling up and down. This is a tiny little movement, doesn't take much here. Try to look at your thighs or even your belly button as you come up. You might not be able to see a whole lot depending on your body structure, but the idea here is that we want the chin tucked right in towards the chest and supporting the neck without pulling on it. So the work really comes from the curl of the shoulders instead of the neck. Tiny but effective movement for those upper abdominals. And take a break. Nice work. We're now going back to a similar position to what we did in those high knees, but this time the knees are up tall. And we're going to toe tap, right? So we're working this in an opposite way now. And begin just toe tapping down, taking it really slowly and trying to keep the feet and the knees parallel to the floor. Okay, that's the real challenge here. You're going to want to probably drop those feet down or raise them up to make this a little bit more comfortable. But we want to try to maintain the angle of the knee the whole time. Definitely the challenge of this movement. If you need a break, this one's really challenging. So it's okay to stop and restart whenever you need to. And take a break here. We're going to bring both feet in towards our bum as close as we can. Okay, pushing the feet into the ground and squeezing the glutes. We're just going to raise the glutes a little bit. Try to straighten the hip. Push the feet into the ground, squeeze the glutes, hold it here for a second, and release. Now you'll notice my back isn't really coming off the ground at all, but my hip is ever so slightly, okay? I really want this to live in your lower body, in the back of the legs, maybe a little bit through the quads as you feel that stretch happening from the glutes squeezing and the hip flexors being pulled nice and long, holding it for 2 or 3 seconds and coming back down. Squeeze through the floor and release. Again, squeezing through the floor and release. Beautiful. All right, we have 2 variations for our next movement. The first one is your level 1. We're just going to drop the knees over to one side, bring them back to neutral, and bring them to the other side. So let's begin there and start, and we're just dropping and returning to center, dropping and returning to center, trying to keep our hip neutral, Okay, not raising it too far off the mat. You can give it a little bit of room here, but you really want to make sure that you're keeping everything nice and tight. Now, as you get stronger, you can consider taking this up off the ground, and the movement becomes a lot smaller here. The hip will lift off the floor as you rock side to side through the motion. Nice control. Last one here, and bring them down back to neutral. And you did it. Nice work.